Is productivity a skill? Hi everyone, this is Jen. I am the founder of Life After Busy, and I'm a productivity coach. I help female creatives and entrepreneurs achieve more by doing less through personalized productivity. And today I want to explore the question, is productivity a skill? And hopefully give you some tips to refine that skill. So I want to start off with answering another question, and that is, what does a productive day look like? I actually have gotten this question a couple of times. So I'm just going to give you my own example of what a traditional workday that is productive looks like for me. So here's the details of a typical work day for me. I am an early bird, so I get up usually around 5:30 in the morning. I have my morning routine, and I won't get into all the details here. I've talked about it before. That usually takes me about 30 minutes. And then I work out. So I love to go running or go to the gym, depending on if my husband, who travels often, is home. I come home, I get the kids off, or get myself ready, get the kids off for school, and then my work day starts around 9 a.m. So I work between 9 to 3. I love time blocking. That is a calendaring system that works well for me. So that's how I divide up my day, taking small breaks in between and usually a little bit of a longer break for lunch. But I end at 3 o'clock, and I love doing my reset routine. I will make sure to put a link for you guys for that reset routine. That is really what keeps the structure of my day. And I do that at 3 o'clock. So that by 3:30, when the kids start walking in the door, I am ready and present to be mom. I switch into mom mode. And then we, do dinner, help with homework. I run them to their activities. And then I like to have some time at the end of my day to recharge. Sometimes that's watching Netflix with hubby. Sometimes that's reading a book, whatever I really need for that particular day. And then I shut everything down, and I'm usually asleep by 10 o'clock. So that is what a productive day looks like for me. But getting back to the original question, is productivity a skill? And I think it is, but I think it's actually a set of skills. And I want to explore with you what those are and just give you some quick tips on each one. And I have more information on them. So if you want to go down the rabbit hole of any one given skill, you have that option as well. So the first is problem solving. So going back to my ideal day, right? There's a lot of room for problems to crop up throughout the day. Maybe a kid's sick. Maybe the tech isn't working on my phone. Actually, that happened just as I was about to record this video. I was having some trouble with the audio. Hopefully the audio sounds okay. So how you handle that, and one just quick tip on how to become a better problem solver is to just clearly identify the problem. Now, in the case of my audio issue with recording this video today, it was clear this is only my second video on YouTube. I did not have the right equipment. So I'm just using what I have. I identified the problem. I ordered the parts that I needed to record better audio next time. So I set myself up to eliminate that problem next week when I record the next video. So that's an example. Just clearly identify what your problem is, and then you can move forward and solve that problem and do better. The second skill is communications skills. And so I had a VA. I no longer have a virtual assistant, and communications skills come into play throughout our lives, within our work, maybe with assistants or coworkers, with our family members, with our loved ones. Well, I had, she was just doing really the technical part of Life After Busy and how I run this company. Basically, it was putting the blog post up and doing a little bit of interaction on my social media channels. And there was actually a time she was sending an email out that was associated with the productivity style quiz that I have within Life After Busy. And she accidentally sent it to everybody on the email list rather than like the 2 or 3 people that had taken that quiz on that particular day. It was laid out to her in a Loom video that I had recorded on how to avoid that because I knew that was a potential mistake. But, so here's my quick fix for you is create SOPs, and that standard operating procedures. I'm not going to get into the details on how to do that. That can be another video for another day. But for any task that you're doing again and again and again, or you're handing off to someone, that will eliminate the problem of communication because they will actually have like a set of directions basically that they can refer back to. So in this VA's example, if it wasn't just a video, it was actually like, step-by-step directions, kind of like she could go through with a checklist. It's likely that that wouldn't have happened. So communication skills. So we covered problem-solving skills, communication skills. The next one is prioritizing. I have talked about how to prioritize on repeat. And I do believe this is something that you need to personalize. There's lots of different methods for prioritizing. I will also provide you with some more materials on the different methods of prioritizing. Not going to get into that here, but I will say identify the right one for you. Mine is the Eisenhower matrix, which you might have heard it before, looking at the urgent versus the important. So you're putting things into different quadrants and then making sure that you're not always working on just what's urgent and you're also making time for what's important so those big dreams aren't slipping away. Okay, so that's prioritizing. Skill number 4 is creating systems. We talked a little bit about systems with SOPs, but systems when it comes to productivity and time management, the 4 that I recommend everybody have, regardless if you're a housewife or you're the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company, are a calendaring system, a note-taking system, a project management system, and a task list or to-do list, a system for that. There is a million of different varieties. That's why I've created the productivity style quiz. But just pay attention to what you're doing. And really, maybe that system is already working for you. If it's not, can you tweak it? And if you can't, maybe there's a better system out there for you. And that's a good reason to take the productivity style quiz. Okay, so that's systems. Looking at my notes here. The next one is, number 5 is decision making. And so oftentimes when we're making decisions on how to be more productive, how to spend our time, it's a problem of competing priorities. So say your kid is asking you to, spend, I'll give you a great example. My son has Friday off this week. It's a teacher in service day. So I can choose to spend the day with him, or I can choose to work. And the thing that I fall back on again and again and again, and I'd love for you to consider, is creating something I call a roadmap for life. I teach more about this in the Life After Busy Bootcamp, but what it is in a nutshell, is really a roadmap for what roles you play, what values are important to you, and what other buckets are important to you in your life. So whether that's hobbies, everybody has to put health on the list, because if we're not taking care of ourselves both physically and mentally, how are we going to take care of everything else? But finances, your business, if you're a business owner, all kinds of things. So you get the idea. So looking at all of that and making sure that you're pouring into that. So if you have like these competing priorities and you look at, the busy work I have scheduled for Friday versus the time spent with my son, it's obvious to me that spending time with my son is important. Yes, growing my business is important. And if I had like a huge important client call, I would make space for that. But when you have the clarity of the roadmap, it really makes that decision-making process that much easier. Okay, that's number 5. And number 6 is managing distractions. So last week I posted a video on how to focus with lots of interruptions, and I went into detail on a bunch of those. And the one I will share with you here, because it is the one that I use the most, is managing distractions on my iPhone. I'm pointing because I'm recording on my iPhone, but I use the focus feature. The focus feature on the iPhone, I love. I know not everybody loves it, but once you figure it out, it is highly customizable to the way you work. It can turn itself on automatically and really filter through what disruptions are coming in and what aren't. So if you want to know more about the focus feature on your iPhone, check out last week's video. I get into it in more detail and all the other types of distractions that everybody is managing on a daily basis. The last skill I think that falls into productivity is stress management. And to me, this falls under the umbrella of mental health. If you guys know me at all, I am a huge advocate for mental health. It is a cause that rings near and dear to my heart. But all of us experience stress. So you need to make sure that you're managing it on a daily basis, because if you get to the point as a creative entrepreneur that you are just so stressed out by everything that you have on your plate, and all of us are being pulled in a million different directions, the stress is going to play a toll, of course, on your productivity, but more important, on your health and your quality of life. So make sure that you are paying attention to that, and just pay attention to the signals that your body is giving you. When you are feeling like you're running in a million different directions and you really are having a hard time focusing, maybe it's time to hit pause and take a little bit of a break. Okay, so just to recap, those were 7 skills. The first is problem solving. The second, communication skill. The third, prioritizing. The 4th is creating systems. The 5th is decision making. The 6th is managing distractions. And the 7th is stress management. If there is something that I missed that you think and it's adding to your productivity, please comment below. I'd love to hear it. There is a somewhat controversial method of not using skill related to productivity. So I want to bring you this counter argument, because I'm a writer and a journalist at heart. So I like to look at both sides of any equation. And that is something called the lock-in theory. And basically it's using fear or consequence to get you to get things done. So I'm going to read you actually a little clip I got from an article about it. The idea is that you should make contracts about your productivity, not just affirmations and willpower, but enforceable covenants that have punishments if you don't deliver. It's very extreme. There is something called stick.com. And what that is a website, and you can put in a dollar amount and say, I will, write 300 words a day for the next week. And if I don't, I'm actually sending money to, you can even put it to like a political party, say you're Republican and it goes to the Democratic Party. That is kind of a counter theory to all of this. I encourage you to develop those skills that I already listed. But if you need to have a little bit of a fear factor to make sure that you're getting an important task done, consider lock-in theory. So you guys, I will be coming here next week again. So make sure you hit the subscribe bell. And next week's topic is going to be how to focus with ADHD. I have 2 kiddos and a husband, both with ADHD. So I have a lot of life lessons that I've learned, and I'm excited to talk to you about that then. Bye for now.